Court is now in session, welcoming witness John to the stage.
Hello, nice to meet you. I remember first getting into Classic Who and hearing this intro, and it being like the worst intro for me.
It's not great.
Especially near the end where it's like a skipped disc, like a broken scratch disc, but it grows on you.
This is a great pick. We're only going to do parts 1 and 2 of said trial today.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of feeling like I'm in the Matrix right now.
Oh yeah.
Broke Cannon has ruined this intro for me.
I imagine you've seen this a million times in editing.
It's probably the best 30 seconds of classic Doctor Who, right?
The most expensive. Honestly, one guy makes Star Wars and it's ruined everyone.
And the quality stops now.
and we're on a set.
From here on out, it's normal budget as ever, baby.
Imagine they probably filmed this shot and then the Doctor jumping in with Mel and Glitz afterwards.
So, what inspired you to pick The Mysterious Planet?
Well, I'm glad you asked. In your videos you talk about these kind of episodes that are bad, but excellent watches. I'm talking Time Monster, Underwater Menace, Underworld.
Lovable watches. Yeah, of course. I'm with you.
Absolutely. A Mysterious Planet for me is definitely one of them. I love the charm of this.
Interesting. I feel differently. This, to me, is a very non-ironic 9 out of 10. This is the final Robert Holmes script ever to the show, and although there were some quibbles behind the scenes about the quality of the script, I think it's so inventive.
It definitely is. It's a bit invented for its own thing. Like, the Valeyard twist is the kind of twist you make when you don't think there's going to be a 13th Doctor.
Yes. That's not jumping the shark, that's jumping 5 sharks in a stunt show, yeah.
That's, the show's not ending, but do you really think it's got that shelf life?
John, I think that's the kind of idea you make when you don't think it's getting another season. No, this is a TV show in panic mode, which is actually really interesting to watch. Especially as I'd say this is the idea of the Doctor being on trial himself, and his not only he being on trial, but his lifestyle, his way of life, his quest, what we watch Doctor Who for, is all being
put into question, yeah.
In an era where the show was so looked at and scrutinised by pretty much everyone. Grades. You're on your last legs, Doc.
Your ass claps are alerting the IRS.
Oh, come on, Colin's done a couple war crimes. Don't worry about the IRS.
I mean, how much tax do you think the Doctor has dodged by running away from Gallifrey?
Well, they've just said he was actually president of Gallifrey and they just deposed him because he didn't show up. Like, that's gonna happen, my guy. That's gonna... Is that legal? Put it like that. This is a story of a negligent leader being taken to task.
By himself.
I'm on their side.
Get him out.
Get him out.
2 typical instances from separate epistopic interfaces of the spectrum.
Epistopic, is that a word?
Oh, sagacity. Valeyard's full of words.
Sagacity.
I don't know whether any of them are real.
That feels like a nickname.
To the TV screen, everyone, where we will watch an episode of Docky Who. Hello, we're with the gang. Finally, acting like a proper TARDIS team. This is a lovely dynamic.
It's probably the nicest Perry will ever be treated. Like, even in the next episode, like, good favours thrown out.
Enjoy it whilst it lasts.
I feel like I know this place.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it.
I've definitely been on a walk with, like, extended family here.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bit about the fact that it's Earth. It's revealed to be Earth.
Well, it's not even that. It's English countryside. It's a forest. It looks like, Saltram.
Saltram? Saltram, Perry!
National Trust, Perry! See it this way. First of all, Glitz, and my favourite, like, J&T era character.
Glitz? Oh dear.
the lovable, not even rascal, just...
Sex pest is the word you're looking for.
Ugh.
If you want a lovable sex pest, may I recommend Torchwood?
About to expose myself with my little Torchwood knowledge.
Don't worry, Torchwood is just like Sabalom Glitz hanging out in Cardiff. That's my summary of the show.
I love the story effect in Dragon Force where he just sold all his crude to save his skin.
I like the bit where he took Ace's virginity on his spaceship floor. Terrible bit of lore.
I wasn't ready for that. Okay.
Oh, God, that's a new one to you. I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
sorry, John.
Matrix. Next on
Matrix?
the screen. Ah!
Boop, doop, 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 doop.
That's the thing that you hear this stuff and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Must be some mad head-brained author, and then it's Terrence Sticks.
Yeah, it turns out to be Stevie Moffat. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Fun fact: these two roles were originally planned for French and Saunders. Dawn French could have been Sabalom Glitz. Trial's really cool because it follows and comments on last season, which is probably the most divisive season ever released, even at the time.
With the Valiard twist, saying, oh, that's why the Sixth Doctor is strangling and killing, pushing into acid.
It was the Valiard.
It's the Valiard this whole time.
The lure of the fuck off.
It's this, like, after the haste, this is why the writing was bad.
They're still talking. Dibber, go home.
No, is this a set or an actual... There's got to be a set. You can't light an actual cave like this, can you?
The BBC have a couple of like holes they just dig. So whenever a Doctor Who needs to go into a hole, they just go down to the forest outside. That's my take. Something that has to be said for the Mysterious Planet is that, unlike last season, we're right into it. We start with the Doctor and Perry. We don't have to wait an episode for them to jump into the action.
Yeah, there's a scene in the TARDIS where they're talking about...
Who knows? Uh-oh, we're in the London Underground. What is this, Orphan 55?
Yeah, I was about to say that is... I can't believe I didn't notice this last year when like the episode first shown. I was like, yeah, this is a really crap twist to do again.
If it was contrived in the mid-80s, it's definitely going to be contrived in 2020.
Well, Doctor, we're on Earth, aren't we? I said it felt like Earth.
And they even say, like, we're at the 10-minute mark, and Perry has outright said, this is Earth, isn't it? We're on Earth. It's barely a twist. I watched all of these back in second lockdown. No reason, it's just the box set was so beloved as a kid.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those 4 stories. Quality didn't even matter back then. But I actually revisited this part as an adult, and not only is it the only part I actually like, I think it's my favourite Colin Baker TV story. We're back in the courtroom for 20 seconds?
Well, can't we just have the edited highlights?
Yes, it's a good framing device, but that was one of many unnecessary cuts. We didn't need to go back there for everyone to address, yes, yeah, we're here, we're still here, we're watching the episode. Don't worry, guys.
It's like the Valiard is showing his friend an episode of Doctor Who, and he's like turning back, he's like, are you enjoying it?
And you started on the Mysterious Planet? Oh.
Yeah, okay. If you were the Valiard and you got to show an episode to show that the Doctor's evil, what would that be?
Probably the one where he chloroforms a man.
Yeah, no, it's still going to be Sixth Doctor. The Sixth Doctor is a domestic abuser and twin dilemma. Valiard, you chose this?
Actually, yeah. What's the purpose of this story in the long run? It doesn't really make the Doctor out to be a criminal in any regard. In fact,
Not really.
It shows that the Time Lords were corrupt. It does nothing but expose that Time Lords renamed and moved to the Earth. What a stupid bit of evidence.
They wrote the stories, looked at the time left, and was like, we need a framing device.
It explains definitely why the Doctor's, what the Doctor's on trial for changes story to story.
Yeah.
At one point, the Valiard goes, wait a minute, that was genocide.
No,
You're a genocider now.
yeah, no, the Doctor chooses Terror of the Vervoids to show that he's good, and he saves the day.
Yeah.
Like he just looks at her, and she goes, "Are you sure this is the story you want to show?" And he's like, "Yes." All right, Doctor, you committed genocide. How do you plead?
Colin Baker actually does not like this story very much, and he hates all the scrapyard, junkyard lines. I mean, same, but... Oh my god, we're there already? They're putting him to death.
I love this.
This is record time, even for you,
just
Doctor.
gets clubbed to death out of nowhere.
Get him, boys! It's the first thing he does in the story. Oh, hello.
Oh,
hello.
damn, he's
he's
thick.
such a good guy. I know him. He's such a good guy. I love him.
Met him at Comic-Con. Got a good selfie. He was so kind. Earth was, like, wiped out, and then these people re-evolved and became Vikings.
I guess. I like the idea that history just resets. If I remember, a lot of this episode is revolving around an electric pillar. There's like a big pillar, and everyone wants to get their grubby little hands on it. And that takes up the drama for 4 episodes.
I can't remember what happens, but I remember it being like anticlimactic. I remember the feeling of betrayal and nothing else.
It's kind of mad how a story that outright says at the beginning, Earth is destroyed and has been moved across the galaxy by the Time Lords, has so little going on in it, stake-wise. It's a fight over a bit of land.
I like this guy.
He's got a hobby. You can't fault him. He's got a hobby.
The cheer and glee.
We all have a bit of a stoning, don't we? Is that one of the lion guys from Warriors Gate? Now, this is not a remotely original sci-fi idea that culture was founded upon a couple books they found in the remnants. But you pick a fun book to base the world off of. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Doctor Who being a big old sci-fi pastiche. Man down.
I'm suggesting now that it becomes a trial. And if he is found guilty...
Oh, here we go.
I wonder what Colin's thinking in this scene. That's actually not a camera thing. Colin does that himself. Last time on Doctor Who, Sixie got a restraining order. From who? That's so dumb. What if he was on trial for stealing the water? Could we stretch that to 12 episodes? 14
You're a
episodes?
water thief. I now put you on trial for death.
All of Gallifrey's like, you did steal the water though. We told you not to go out there, and now you broke the time rules.
One of my favourite things in the story are all the old Time Lords turning around in their really restrictive suits to and from the TV.
Okay, so now time to put some proper respect on this story's name. The reason I love it so much is because it's pretty postmodern. In terms of, this is a Doctor Who story that's been given to us, but somebody's messed with it. Somebody has edited with it and censored certain words.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I haven't thought of it like that. That's a good angle.
it's really interesting, and it's not me looking into it, that's there on the page. Robert Holmes was really clever for this. It's a framing device that allows you to do clever things with a story and mess around with it. So between this and Mind Warp, we don't even know what parts of these stories are true. Who has killed this kind clown man? A clown has cried today. And it's only the mysterious planet, when you really think about it, that uses the framing device in a clever way. I think, although we return to the trial room more in other stories, it's mostly forgotten with, they're done with it. Mind Warp only does it a couple times. Terror of the Vervoids, it's more like an obligation.
Yeah.
Robert Holmes was the only one who actually did anything with it.
That's true.
So whilst it's definitely not anything impressive to look at on the screen, it's... I don't know, there's nice elements going on here. It's a nicely framed script, if not a great one.
Yeah. If Series 12 hadn't re-killed the Time Lords, I would have loved to have seen a re-attempt of Trial of a Time Lord.
How about they're against the Master and the Doctor is his defendant?
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Ah, just saying. Field of ideas. Sorry, they're all dead though. Ah, Perry, don't touch him.
Get accident to Perry.
Can we put him on trial? Oh, Dipper, man, when are you gonna speak up? When are you gonna take him to account on his behaviour? He can't keep getting away with this. I think in a perfect world, God bless Pip and Jane Baker. In a perfect world, Robert Holmes would have been well enough and popular enough at the BBC to have penned all of the parts.
In a perfect world, he would have been there to edit the scripts and keep a single vision.
Saywood, he wasn't a fan of the mysterious planet. He felt really let down, reportedly, by Rob Holmes because he was from the old days. He wasn't meant to be bad, but there were lots of complaints about the script for reasons I genuinely don't know.
Oh, we got this robot. Here we go.
Look at this little dude. How can you be mad at a story that has him in it? This most likely was the story that put Eric Saywood off the series and decided to step down as script editor.
Maybe. He just didn't like the Sixth Doctor, and that's why he would write the Sixth Doctor doing really nasty crap.
It's so petty, but kind of a power move.
It's a little bit speculation.
This story could have been a lot more fun if there'd been the original casting. because not only would we have had Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders as Glitz and Dibber, we also would have had Brian Blessed, who was meant to be Glitz.
Huh. I'm processing that. Would that have been better or worse?
I'm not sure how to feel about it either, especially with the ace fact that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Drathro!
The
That's his
robot,
name.
there we go.
Drathro.
You know, I love a character where we learn the name.
He's a great design.
It is. It's such an awesome one. It probably hurt to operate it.
It's 3 kids on top of each other's shoulders. Hey, if there's anything I love in media, it's a long, soulless procedural drama.
Every genre. Doctor Who will do every genre.
Yeah, apparently so.
I'm a good person, Judge.
I'm actually a good guy, Judge. I'm not evil.
Judge, you don't understand. I'm the main protagonist.
You can't sound like, say, I want to put this man to death, and then just show him going about his day in the most innocuous, unrelated event possible.
I mean, neither side is making a good case.
It doesn't spend a lot of time exploring its own world. I've always thought that with this one. We've got this massive pre-society colony of human survivors and a robot just installed already, like manipulating.
Yeah, they don't really explain it,
Not
do they?
really, and we don't explore a lot of it. It's just window dressing. It's a setting. How would you rate the trial pieces? Is this the best part for you, or is that... Well, I mean, most people would say Mind Warp.
I say Mysterious Planet is my favourite out of the 4. Actually, I don't like Mind Warp really at all, to be honest.
Nah, me either. It's just misery, and...
It's a little nasty, yeah.
It's not only is it nasty, but it doesn't even present its main mystery well. Oh, the Doctor's crazy. What are we going to do with that? Not a lot. I wonder why they haven't released some kind of version, an Unbound or maybe a novel, that actually shows what truly happened in these stories. Trial is a very tonally inconsistent series. It's not just the fact that the stories don't fit together, like the Monk trilogy or some shit. It's about the fact that one is a very old school episode of Doctor Who, that's this.
Yeah.
The next is Mind Warp, which is back to the like real meanness of Vengeance and Varos. Then we do a tonal whiplash to Pip and Jane Baker do a murder mystery.
I was about to say, going from Robert Holmes to Pip and Jane, you can't do that smoothly. I think Mysterious Planet, because of Robert Holmes, is a really good way of introducing JNT era Who to someone who's watched a lot of Third and Fourth, but not much else.
But then in isolation, the court bit might be a bit of a confusing one, because then they're obligated to watch The Ultimate Foe. And then I don't want to put that on anyone.
Oh, good point. Good point. They're cornered.
On one end, we've got the boring humans, and on the other end, we've got a Trundly robot. Doctor Who, in a nutshell, if I've ever seen it.
I really think this could be the end.
I do really like Mysterious Planet. It's got a weird place in my heart.
It's a really easy one to underestimate. Like, I think if you see the forest and the trees, and then you see, like...
The sci-fi sets.
There's a lot in this story to turn your nose up and tune out. Yeah, it looks like it should be a bad story.
Especially when they're underground and they're in the white corridors. You expect, like, a Nimon to walk around the corner.
That's the perfect way to put it. Goodbye! I rule! Guilty!